Nisha Elsa, and I've made this video especially for people who want to map their passion into trying to get some money with it, or people who want to do what they are good at and build up a creative career out of it. So this is also for people who want to do a bit more like creative side project or hustle or do things during their free time, things like that, but then eventually build that up into something which you really wanted to do. So my inspiration to do this particular video is from a Skillshare tutorial. So you might be knowing about Skillshare, which is a platform where people, creatives, come and share their knowledge and they create exciting video tutorials. So the person called Andy J Pizza, so he's basically an illustrator and he's an author, he's a podcaster. So I came across one of his tutorials which is having a roadmap to build a creative career with doing what you like to do. So this particular video is just a part of his tutorial. This is a simple sketching exercise where you will be creating a diagram, something similar to Venn diagram, and map your creative identity. So the term which Andy used is creative identity bullseye. So this is basically to map who you are and then thereby start channeling your career to building up a successful small project or an empire or a hustle, let it be anything. So basically, while you're creating this identity, creative identity bullseye, what the three main points are: industry, market, and niche. So you might have heard a lot about these three terminologies. Like industry is basically, for example, the industry which I work in is digital fabrication. So you can see how diverse it is. It's very huge. It is very, very vague, let me say like that, something like that. So then from channeling from your industry to the market to the niche which you want to concentrate in. So this is what particularly you will be reinventing about yourself. So this particular thing is not just applicable into your career. So this can be in a small project which you want to do. For example, if you want to write a book, so then you will have to select on that industry which you are good at or that passionate thing which you want to do. For example, I'm good at robotics. So then if I want to write a book on robotics, so I can choose my industry as robotics, and then the market, like who am I focusing that to? So which is that market in that? For example, if it's robotics and I want to do it something like customer, not a market, not something like industry based. So I want to write a book which is not too much complicated, but it is something for a user. And then finding my niche. So I'm all about kids. I'm all about sharing knowledge with children, youngsters under 18s. So that would be my niche. So this kind of categorization and pinpointing your particular creative identity while you're doing a project can be a bit more helpful for you to be following it up and doing it with passion, things like that. So let's move on to this particular diagram and how we can create it out. So let's move on to sketching the diagram. So initially we will be doing our industry sketching. So it's a big outer circle. So industry is something where you want to put your input and the main industry of that project. So you need not have that too much of skills and all, but you can always pick up skills on the way. But the whole point is something which you want to do it and which industry it is in. So for example, my like So for example, my industry is digital fabrication, or let's talk about somebody else like a musician. So if it's a singer, so it would be the audio music industry. And let's talk about artists. So if a person who would like to do digital art, probably his industry would be illustration. So that's what basically we mean by industry. And it changes depending on your projects. And moving on to the next inner circle, so that is the market. So market is how you fit into it. Now let me talk about my case. So I am into the digital fabrication industry, but my market is essentially for the schools or the STEM labs, things like that. So it's not product design. So this is what I meant by marketing. Now let's talk about something like a music industry. So a singer is there, so the person's market would be like what he or she focuses in her career. Like for example, it can be R&B, pop, country, things like that. And market after market, it is the niche. So you can see how important it is. Like after the market, the niche is where you will be standing out. So where you can put your presence, where you can find your ground, where there is not much of concentration. So that's basically niche. So let's talk about an artist. And I have an example as well I have put forward here. So in terms of an artist point of view, his industry would be an illustration, his market would be a inside a digital platform, like building up a logo or building up a magazine illustration, illustrating for brands, things like that. And then the niche comes, like what is he good at? For example, if he's a book illustrator, which age category? Like is it a children's book, or is it a pictorial book, or a DIY book, things like that. So this is how you classify your creative identity and use it forward. Share me some examples which you have done regarding the creative identity bullseye. So I'll share a template as well in this section, and you can download it and maybe make changes on it and share it back to me.